You already cleaned her out, right?
Yep. Hey girl, can you back this up? Thank you. Hey y'all.
So far away.
You can't really see Aubrey.
Hi guys. She's leaning so far to your side, it's not even funny. Alright guys, we're coming on here to tell you our birth story. And milk at the same time.
First time in like 6 weeks we've milked that thing. 5 weeks.
Yeah, Kane put the weaning ring in at what, 3 o'clock today, 4 o'clock?
Yeah, like 4 o'clock. So we're just milking out what we can get. You will see the video of me with the calf again. It's kind of cool.
That may not be in this video though. It'll probably be in the weekend vlog video.
Yeah.
This is our birth story. So at 9:30 on a Thursday night, the 7th to be exact, of September, my water broke or started to break, and I knew it was my water because that's how it broke with my daughter, which was my first baby. And from there, I got in the shower and we started watching TV, trying to chill out, and contractions got consistently worse quickly, which is probably because my water had broken. But yeah, it was a little bit different than Bo's and Bryn's, but both of them were like combined, kind of, if that makes sense. And from there, as contractions picked up, you'll watch in my birth video, we started getting the bed ready. And what happened after that? I can't even. I had to call my mom to come get the kids. And what else?
Her parents got there and they helped get the kids up, get them out, and pick them back to their place for the night. And that was about 10 o'clock, I would say.
Yeah.
Give or take. About.
Oh, no. That was closer to 11 or 12 because we had already watched Suits.
And then, so around 11, they left with the kids. I finished getting all the stuff ready for birth. Everything was ready by the time our midwife's assistant got there, Ashley.
Yes, I called the wrong number for my midwife, so I called my assistant too, luckily, and she got a hold of my midwife. So my midwife didn't show up till, what, 10 minutes before Ezekiel showed up?
Probably, yeah. They didn't have time to set their stuff up that they usually have ready and set up. They had 5 minutes. I mean, by the time they got everything inside, and I showed them around, and Zeke was here. So.
But I mean, after Shane got the pool ready, I immediately got in because I knew I was about to go into what they call transition. And because once you've given birth so many times, you just know what those things are. But yeah, I started to go into this transition in the pool. I puked twice. I'm sure it's lovely information that you all want to hear. And let out a couple good howls before I realized that my body was trying to push. So I started kind of pushing, but letting my body do most of the work on its own. And it for sure did. I was silent the whole time I pushed. And he was out within, what, 2 minutes of pushing?
Probably.
If not less. And from there, my midwife got us cleaned up. I thought that was going to be a kick. It was not.
I'll say right before Zeke came out, and you can kind of see in the video, like our birth video, but Aubrey just goes silent, and I mean, she hadn't been silent all night. And she just went silent, and I was like, this is it. I knew it in my mind. She was silent for what, 15, 20 seconds probably?
Yeah, probably.
And then
that was like all of the pushing that I really
and
did.
our midwife was like, there's the head. And I was like, oh my gosh, no way. And she was still silent, wasn't screaming, nothing, was just cool, calm, collective. And just gave it one more good push. You could just see it on her body just go through, and out came Zeke. It was so cool. And if you watch the video closely, you can see her body from head, shoulders, all the way down, just go into that push and baby come out. It is just, I think childbirth is an awesome experience, even like for a husband's point of view. Like, yeah, the pain for her and what she goes through sucks, and I hate that I can't do anything about it and take some of the pain away. But to be there and comfort her in, you know, this trial that is happening and the gift that she's given to go through this, it's a cool experience, and I hope every guy can kind of see it through that perspective of this is an awesome experience, and I'm here for my wife. Whether that be at home, hospital, you know, whatever you all decide to do. Just, dudes, love your wives as Jesus loved the church, and do that to the fullest you can. So that's my little take.
Well, and the pain isn't necessarily so bad with a home birth. Like, not until you start pushing, and like then it's not that long. Like, as long as you start pushing at the right time, it's not that long of pain. But after we welcomed, what were you gonna say?
No, same thing.
After we welcomed Ezekiel into the world, my midwife cleaned me up and cleaned Ezekiel up, and I breastfed him on both sides. He latched really well. And then after weighing him and doing all that good stuff, I fell asleep. So I took a nap, and shortly thereafter, cleaning everything up, Kane took a nap.
Yeah, I finished cleaning stuff up for about, it took me about another hour to get everything picked up, cleaned up, and set aside ready, so I knew that the next morning or that day I could, you know, be chill, clean up as I go throughout the day. But for the majority, I got most of it done, and I went and laid down with them. And then 3 hours later is when we got some crazy news, and I'll let Aubrey touch on that.
Yeah, so as soon as I wake up, I notice Kane's asleep, but the baby's not in the room, in my room, which is where I knew he had been left. And I figured like the midwives had left and things like that, and you know, we were kind of on our own because my midwife only stays 3 hours after birth. Well, God had kind of given her the intuition to stay, and I'm glad she did, because not soon after Kane and I went to sleep, Ezekiel started having breathing problems, which later on, after I woke up, like I said, I woke up to my baby being gone. I went into the living room where my midwife was administering oxygen by a CPAP machine, and she looked at me dead in the eye and she said, "We need to go to the hospital, you need to pack a bag, and we've got to be fast." So I kind of like shakily got everything together, because again, this is just
5 hours after.
Not even. This is, well, yeah.
It was 5 hours.
Yeah, it was 5 hours. 5 hours after I had given birth. So we go to London Hospital, which is about, what, 6-minute drive?
I don't know, 10 minutes if you're driving the speed limits around here. It took us about 3.
Which we had our lights on, and we had told them we were on our way, and
I took a lot of back roads that I know, so missed a lot of morning traffic doing that.
yes. And when we got there, they immediately tried to jerk him from my arms. I was very unhappy with...
Are we done?
What's wrong?
I think she's just...
I don't think she is.
Oh, you still got some?
They immediately tried to jerk him from my arms. I was very unhappy with that. Immediately tried to give him like 3 or 4 vaccinations. Like, there was a lot going on right in the midst of everything. And luckily my midwife stood up for us, and I stood up for myself and advocated for myself and kept him in the room a little bit longer, but they refused to administer oxygen in the room. So we ended up having to send him to the nursery. Where they didn't really let me see him 24/7. We weren't allowed to stay in the room with him. There was no NICU, even though their website said there was a NICU. So that entire stay in London was really mentally and physically hard, especially it was my first day postpartum.
It was a traumatic experience.
It was very traumatic.
It shouldn't have been that way. And I'm not blaming the doctors or nurses at London, but they need to get their crap together over there, because that should never be the case for people to go in and feel so uneasy about everything because they're making it feel that way. So if anybody from London's watching this, figure your crap out, please.
Yes. But they ended up transferring us because he was not getting any better. They transferred us to a bigger hospital in Kentucky, and they did phenomenal. We got to stay in the room with him in a neonatal intensive care unit, and they did fantastic and made us feel at home. And I mean, he had such a wonderful turnaround. It had to have been all the churches and communities that prayed for us, because there's no way without God that he wouldn't have made the turnaround that he did.
Whenever we arrived at the new hospital, so she missed this part. We didn't get to go with him. We were actually about 3 to 4 hours behind him getting up there, because when he first gets up there, they have to do all this stuff, and we can't really see him anyway before we get up there. And the trip alone is an hour, so we knew that we had at least an hour to go home, take a little nap. I think we went home, we took a 2-hour nap, got our stuff, and left. Went up there. When we got up there, they were telling us how good he was doing, all these good things, and he's...
Well, no, when we got up there, he wasn't doing good.
I thought they said he was. Or he was taking to everything well.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
But,
Hold on. Hold on, guys. You're going for a ride.
Upon arrival, he had to have a chest tube, a breathing tube, a feeding tube, a PICC line, and a PIV line. And seeing all that on a newborn it's
rough.
Terrifying.
Should we put a picture in right here?
I think I have a video, which I think the video only has the feeding tube, so
we might throw a video in or something
or whatever.
Right in this area. Bah!
But he had a very fast turnaround over 7 days.
Yes.
And we got to go home within a
Thankfully.
week. Even with him having all that stuff put in, it was quickly taken back out because he was doing so well.
Yes. He was a trooper, a champ, all the above. He done phenomenal. I think it was halfway through the week up there. I was sitting there talking to Aubrey and her mom, and me and her mom went back and forth to the hospital and then back down here to the kids. And so thankfully we were able to do that, and I was actually here with the kids some because they still need parental guidance. Yeah, Aubrey didn't leave the hospital for 7 days. But I'm saying all this because that third or fourth day I was up there, Aubrey was like, yeah, they came in and told us that like he only probably had maybe an hour left before he wasn't gonna make it any longer when he arrived. And I was like, you don't just kind of skip over that the first day. Like, that's something you should know. Like, you should have told me this forever ago. She's like, well, they told us and I just didn't mention it. So that freaked me out, knowing my son only had about an hour left of his life if he would have stayed in London.
Well, but what had happened was, so my kids take this thing called a stress breath, and we never really figured it out until this one, obviously. That had to be traumatic, of course. But a stress breath is whenever they breathe in the birth canal instead of out of the birth canal. And obviously I do water births, so that's really dangerous with water births because they're breathing in all the water. They're breathing in all the water from the birth pool and all of the bacteria, and like obviously if you poop like I did, I'm not afraid to say that,
Yeah.
then
It's literally bad.
could be an ADHD.
Sorry, it's a bat. It's gonna attack me.
Then that obviously
Oh!
that's more cause for concern. That's really creepy.
That is a bat. It's Halloween. Look at that. And our leg fell off. Oh my.
Anyways, stress breath is very dangerous with water birth, and I will not be doing another water birth. Not that there's anything wrong with water birth, but if your kids take stress breaths, there is something wrong with it. You should not do it. It's an extra thing. It's an extra danger.
Listen, if that thing bites me and I turn into a vampire, I'm gonna be mad.
I don't think that's how it works.
Ah.
But that is our birth story and postpartum crap show for you.
Yeah. But we are still so thankful. We're blessed to have a new baby boy. And
Are there two? There are more than two.
yeah, there's like 5 and they're swarming us. On our next video, how to be a vampire. But we thank everybody that was able to put a hand on us, help us through this time of need, and we are just ever so grateful for the friends, community, and family that we are surrounded by. So thank you for all the love and support.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Peace.